in the kitchen. Granny's ceiling's about a little taller than this ceiling, I suppose. So he goes over there to the salt bin. Remember when they cured meat with salt? That's him scooping up a thing of salt. Walks back over to the flap, pulls it up. Exhilarating. That's one of the big words. And then it's about to get worse. Remember they cook with coal oil then, kerosene? He goes over there and draws up a can of that, pulls back the flap, pours it in. Then the whole ceiling turned purple, fell down real low, and started. I went unconscious. You know how that is. So I'm out, unconscious. I'm awakened a day and a half later. Did y'all know Dr. Henderson? That's when they made house calls. He was a tall, gray-haired old doctor. He wears glasses down on his nose like that. But anyway, I'm awakened. I'm in my grandfather's bed from being unconscious in the kitchen floor, and I hear, that ain't a good word. That's Dr. Henderson talking to my mother, and he goes, we're not going to sew him up. We're just going to leave him open and let him drain because we don't think he's going to make it. You know, that's not edifying, is it? That's what happened, though. They didn't sew me up. They tied me together with bed sheets. I was telling the story just like I'm telling you, and a guy raised his hand in the meeting. I said, you want to say something? He said, yes, I do. I said, go ahead. He said, I'm a leading gastrologist. He said, do you mind if I examine you? And I said, no, come here, knock yourself out. This is honest truth. So I didn't want to embarrass everybody, so I got back behind one of these little curtains like that, put my shirt off. And man, he does all this examining and probing, and boy, he's just going, oh my God. Oh, he said, listen, he said, no stitches, no nothing. He said, you should have a great big hernia here. He said, it's impossible for the muscles to heal unless they're cut a certain way, da-da-da. And he said, let me document this for you. I said, listen, I don't need any documentation. I was there. But he was trying to do good, you know. But it's there. I can show you the scars. It's just, we're down to showing scars now. But anyway, Isaac was in a bad place, and it was really difficult, so he thought he'd run away. God said, no, stay here. I'll bless you. I'll give you what I promised your father. And here's what happened. This is all in the Bible. And it's going to get down to, look at verse, if you will. Just cut through down to verse 12. We're back over there to wherever we were. Genesis. I got stuff a-flying, man. I got more. Here we go. Genesis 26, verse 12. Then Isaac sowed in the year of in the land, in the same year of the famine, and God blessed him 100 times as much as he planted. And the Lord favored him with many, many blessings. And if you look at verse 13, that's kind of the program and the pattern God has for you. He said, I'm going to prosper you. I'm going to really prosper you, and then I just want to blow the roof off. That's what he says. In verse 13, I'm going to prosper you, really prosper you, and really blow the roof off. That's what he says. You see it in verse 13? And the man became great and gained more and more and more until he began to be very wealthy and very distinguished. See, that's God's plan. If you obey him, follow him, go where he tells you to go. Do you believe it's really, really a necessity that you follow him? Yes. It really is that you yield yourself to him. Yes. Be where you're supposed to be to get what he wants to give you. You ever read Acts 2:1? Acts chapter 2, verse 1 said, they were all in one place in one accord. Wonder why they were in that place. Luke 24:49, go tarry where? In. See, God will tell us where we're supposed to be if we'll listen. Yeah, well, he never talks to me. Well, you're not listening because he does talk to you. John 10:3 said, my sheep will. That's right. So what it is, sometimes we're so distracted we can't hear. Yes. That's why it says in Psalms 46:10-11, be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Is there any benefit in knowing God? Yes. Daniel 11:32b, it says, but the people that do know their God will do great exploits. They'll display strength and take action. Yeah. So he sowed in the time of the famine. Wow, and he reaped 100-fold. I was trying to think how I could illustrate that. And I thought, well, I should get 100 $1 bills and say, look, he put this one in and he got 100 back. That's what it happened. Can you imagine that? That's God's pattern. But see, when things start getting tough, we start getting stingy. Well, you know, I used to be able to give, but now I better cut back a little. Whoa, wait a minute. the worst thing in the world you can do is eat your seed. It's true. Maybe gratifying just for a moment, but boy, down the road it doesn't work. He sowed in the year of the famine, and God blessed him. And he blessed him 100-fold. That's the way God is. I like that, don't you? Then he got busy trying to do something good for God. Redig the wells. And boy, he digged one, and here comes somebody go and fuss over it and quarrel over it. And they named him Strife and Hard to Get Along. See, when God really begins to bless you and you want to do something for God, it's usually the devil that's going to come and do something like that. You're going to try to redig the wells, come try to move out for God, take the community for God. Then here comes the enemy. They dug the wells. Have you read the story? Oh, man. People begin to war and strife over that. But they kept digging till they found a well called Big Enough for Everybody. Room for all. See, that's the way God will do it. You know what needs to happen in this area and region that we're in? Psalms 133 needs to happen. We need to have a place where people have attitude. It's room for all. Big enough for everybody. Psalm 133 verse 1, it says, how pleasant it is for the brethren to dwell together in unity. It releases lavish anointing. Like them scarves. That's good. Yeah. He was off in Korea, and the Lord said, I want you to pray over cloth. And you couldn't buy one single handkerchief or one single napkin in the whole city of Seoul, Korea. Those Koreans bought them up and brought them to church to be prayed over. We prayed for thousands of people. See, the Bible, God really is anointing pieces of cloth right now. That's true. Crazy. Yeah. He does stuff like that. Can I tell you the first time I ever prayed over a prayer cloth? Say yes. Y'all are not in a rush, are you? Now, I'm prophetic. I can hear what you think. It's true. But here's the first time I ever prayed over a prayer cloth. Just like this. I was pastoring in Southern Baptist Church, and a woman named Nanette Rice called me. She said, Pastor, I have a brother living in California. He's critically ill. They got him in the intensive care unit. They don't think he's going to live. He's not safe. My daughter and I are going to fly out there. Will you please pray over a handkerchief and bring it to me? I thought to myself, what? So I was going to give her some reasons why I wouldn't. And I go, yes. And I go, God. So anyway, I tell my wife, come with me. We're going to go out to Nanette's house. We're going to pray over a handkerchief and give it to her. So I'm driving my car, and I got a handkerchief just like this. And I'm driving. Here's what I said. I said, Lord, you said in the Bible, they took off the body of Paul aprons and handkerchiefs, and those aprons and handkerchiefs were sent out to the sick, and sick people got well, and demonized people got healed. And so I said, do that now. When I said that, that handkerchief got so hot you couldn't hold it. So I said to Carolyn, here! And she goes, wow! This is, I'm either lying or this is going to get good. Here's what happened. We get out there and give the handkerchief to Nanette. Nanette and her daughter, Karen, get on the plane, fly to California. They go in with the handkerchief. Their brother's in a comatose place. Her brother's in a comatose place. She puts the handkerchief down on him, and he starts vibrating and all that. So the doctors put him out. They put Nanette and her daughter out. And I think they had to stay till 10 the next morning. And here's what happens. She said when she walked in there, her brother was sitting up on the side of the bed watching Billy Graham was saved and healed. That was my first prayer cloth. I'll tell you another. Okay, one more story about the prayer cloth. Come on, it'll be okay. I almost started singing. Yeah. I don't know why, but a song just went, somewhere over the rainbow. See? I think that's our problem. We think, oh, there's promises out there, but there's somewhere. Oh, why can't I fly? You can. Instead of singing somewhere over the rainbow. You know, there's some songs I don't like. That's one of them. I don't like unfulfilled expectations. You know, the Baptists sing one, some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away. Hey, that ain't victory. Tough in the now and now. Establishing the kingdom now. Well, here's another story. Y'all know my mama? God raised her from the dead twice. That ain't bad for a Southern Baptist. You know. Here's what happened. My mama got a hole in her stomach. On the inside, the food was draining out in her cavity, and the doctor said, this is very severe. It could cause gangrene. That could kill her. And so they carried her to the doctor. And so me and my wife go to be with her. And so they spray some stuff in her mouth, and they get her to swallow a camera. A little Sony camera on a wire. And so there she is. She's got the camera down in her mouth. And so they turn on some television cameras, and you can see when they turn the light on in the camera, you can see the inside of my mom's tummy. And there's a doctor moving the camera around like this, and it pans around. You can see it just as clear as a bell on the screen there. And then all of a sudden you see the hole. It's about the size of a golf ball, maybe a little bigger. Grotesque looking, horrible looking flesh hanging from it. And so I'm seeing it, the doctor's seeing it, and my mother's seeing it, and my mother starts going, oh! And I think, oh, bless her heart, it's hurting her. You know, the tube in her mouth. Oh! And she's digging at me, and so I'm getting closer to her, trying to comfort her, and she goes, oh! And I thought, oh, Mama, you know, and she's digging, and she pulls out my handkerchief. Now watch this. Takes the handkerchief and puts it over her belly. This is on film, and the hole starts growing up. See, and so the doctors are gassed. So they start printing what they're seeing on the film with a camera. And the pictures come sliding out, and you can see it. It grows up, and it's as smooth as anything. They took the camera out of my mother's mouth, and she said, my God, boy, what took you so long? My God, boy. That's Mama. Yeah. That's true. See, God does stuff like that. I got a prayer cloth in this Bible from William Branham. Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't believe in that kind of stuff. Well, it won't work for you then. See, there's some of you out there going, well, if I see it, then I'll believe it. That won't work. You better read John 11:40. Yes. John 11:40, Jesus said, did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see? See, skepticism has been salting us till where we won't believe it till we see it. I like that verse. I put a gold star by it in my Bible. Did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see? See, did you read John 6? There's another question asked. Some guys go, how can we really know for sure we're doing the works of God? And Jesus says in John 6:29, this is the works of God, that you believe on Him whom God has sent. Isn't that cool? The works of God is to believe in Jesus. Believe, just trust Him. It doesn't take big faith, just real faith to move God. If you had faith as a ground. Y'all doing good? Did you see anything? Did you? Oh, man. We have a back strap or something like that. Oh, good. I like jerky too. Yeah, you hunt? Oh, man. I like that mustache. What's your name? Lee? That's my middle name. My middle name's Robert Lee Connor Jr. See now, you got to be a Billy Bob from Texas. You know, got to get one of them or something. What do you do?
Personal trainer.
Yes, I know. Liposuction. Personal trainer. I've been trying to convince mine that carrot cake is vegetable. That's right. That's right. That's right. So how long have you been personal training? Is it working out okay? That Jillian, she's some gal named Jillian. Listen, she needs attitude adjustment. Like a badger or something. I'd like to get her saved. Well, you're not like that, are you? That's not your role model, is it? Yeah. That's true. That's true. What's your name? Jesse, what do you do? What are you studying? Oh, man. I'm kind of studying the same thing, product managing. I'm trying to get some people to establish the kingdom.